Hello everyone, welcome to my beta course. Thank you so much for signing up for this. I am running on a day late here, so I'm gonna be getting through this because this is gonna be the one and only last take, as I've been a little nervous up to these ones. And so it's funny because the last two practice takes I did were fine, but I've kind of updated things, and so now I just wanna make sure it's all on point. But I want to say thank you for coming into this course and investing into me and the idea and the course, and more importantly, investing into you. I really believe that this course is going to help you move forward with your goals and can ultimately impact your life for the rest of your life. The way we're going to look at goals and projects going forward, you can use this lens for everything you use going forward, and it's going to help you become more efficient, more effective. And so I really feel there's going to be a lot of valuable information over the next 6 weeks that you can take with you. And the idea behind the course is more of a toolkit, and I'm going to give you a lot of different tools and frameworks. And some things are going to stick with you and you're going to like, and some things you won't. And so it's really about making it work for you. There are some overarching frameworks at the key lesson today. Like that's kind of a main component of it, how things are done when it comes to goal setting and achieving the projects and the ideas that you have. But it's really about me giving you some tools that will be practical for you that you can use with you for as long as you need to and really help you achieve your goals in the immediate future right now. And so I want to say I'm here for you. I'm here to support you in any way, shape, or form I can over the next 6 weeks. You have email access to me, you have Facebook access to me, and you can text me. We're doing group calls on Thursdays, it looks like, and so you can ask me questions there. But I really hope that the content and the exercise and everything that I'm creating will be valuable for you. So let's get into it. I got this nifty share screen thing, and so we're gonna start with Pablo Picasso. Good artist copy, great artist steal. The things in this course are not my ideas. I have stolen them from different people because I'm simply just not that smart. I've stolen from the best of the best in 2016, from different podcasts I've come across, from books that I've read, from different people. I've sourced things from a whole bunch of areas from the last 6 years of my life. Like I love taking notes. So I've been going back through old email notes, my cell phone. So just pulling some great ideas from different places. And I've condensed it all into this course to really help you move forward with your goals and start attacking them and crushing life. So the first key component is DIS. And you might be asking, what is DIS? Well, DIS is a meta-learning principle developed by Tim Ferriss. And so Tim Ferriss basically deconstructs anything and everything, and he's super successful. And he's basically, in fact, he's super successful, doesn't really matter, but the way he's used is to apply to achieving his goals. For example, with languages, like he's learned languages in 4 weeks. And you're like, how can you learn a language in 4 weeks? Well, because he's deconstructed the language and found out what the fundamental principles of it are. And that's really helps him to know enough of it to communicate freely with other people without having to know the whole language. And that's a key component of our goals. It's not always about doing everything. It's like, what are the key components that we really need to do? So we're going to be using DIS to deconstruct our projects and our goals to start moving forward with those and really being efficient with the things that we are doing. So I'm going to bring it back to me. So what does DIS stand for? So the D stands for deconstruction. So we're going to take our goal in our project, we're going to deconstruct it. So I'm going to use Leanne as an example. Leanne is in this course. She was the first one who emailed me back with her intake form. She is launching a personal training business, and she wants to have 6 clients in 6 weeks. So what does Leanne have to do in order to get those 6 clients in 6 weeks? So she's going to list everything she can and break down that goal. And that might mean having a website, business card, graphics, meeting with clients, doing fitness, whatever it is, like the whole list of that entire goal, you want to write down every single component of it. Once you've written down every single component, and here's what I want to say, if you're doing multiple projects, we're going to go one project at a time. It's been proven that you can't multitask. Multitasking is not an efficient way to do things. So we're not going to be multitasking. We're going to go one project at a time, dissecting it bit by bit. And if you have multiple projects on the go, you're going to have to learn how to complete sub-projects within each project first. You're not going to be trying to do a little bit of that, a little bit of that. It just doesn't work. It's not efficient. So once we have deconstructed the whole list, then we're going to go to selection. And selection is the 80-20 principle. So the Pareto principle. And if you don't know what this principle is, it's basically the idea that I like to call it 20-80 principle because it flows easier for me. So what 20% of your actions will give you 80% of your results? So they say in business that 20% of your clients will give you 80% of your income. And they say like crop yields, 20% of the crops will give you 80% of yields. It's applied to many different things. But the way we're going to be using here, it's like what 20% of the actions we need to take will give us 80% of the results that we want. And I'll give you an example later on how I use this and how to apply to this video. Once we've selected the 80-20 principle, or the 20-80, then we're going to go to sequences. So what order do we have to do these things in? And you would think that sometimes you want to go linearly, but it doesn't always make sense to go linearly. And the reason being, like, so let's actually go back to the video example, where when I decided to make this video, I was like, okay, what do I need to get done for this video to be completed? And so, well, I need the content and I need to have, shoot the video. And so, yes, I wanted to create slides. Yes, I wanted to create exercises and all those other things. But what it is, I went through the content first, got the content, shot the video. And once I'd shot the video, then I was able to go back and the exercises and the slides flowed a lot easier because I already had the content and the video shot in you. And then I'm going back and re-recording the video again to incorporate the exercises and the slides that I've created. And so you can see how getting that video done first was beneficial to me to really get the other pieces pulled in. And that's where sequencing sometimes can be dependent. It doesn't have to always be linear. Deconstructing it can make sense sometimes depending on what you're working on. And the last S is stakes. And so stakes for right now is going to be a deadline. We're going to look at accountability and how to make yourself more accountable and developing habits later on in the course. So for now, just leave it at stakes. I'll explain what stakes truly means down the road, but it's going to be a deadline for our goal. So with Leanne, we said 6 clients. She kind of already said 6 weeks. So now we know that. So here is this, just really quickly. Deconstruction, selection, sequence, stakes. You see that? I explained all 4 of those. Now, one of the most important principles we're going to learn in this course is Parkinson's Law. If you know this already, great. If you don't, work expands to fill the time available for its completion. And this is why deadlines are so integral. Isaac Newton had deadlines for everything. He was notorious for having deadlines on every single project. Even me, when I work now, I basically on my phone open up a note. If I'm making like a graphic for Instagram, I'm like, okay, Instagram graphic. And I put the number 15 beside it. And I turn on a timer for 15 minutes counting down. And I allot myself a set amount of time to create that graphic. Now that might sound ridiculous to you, but I used to spend an hour and a half creating graphics at first for Instagram when I first developed my podcast. And the reason being is because I would create 5 different font styles. I would go get all these different images and I'd use different backgrounds. And I'd basically create the same thing 5 or 6 times and just keep doing that. And so now I'm just like, nope, I have 15 minutes. I find my favorite photo right away, my favorite font, and it just forces me to make decisions quicker. When we allot an hour and a half for a graphic, it will take an hour and a half. If we allot 15 minutes for it, it'll take 15 minutes. And so it's really about using Parkinson's Law to create firm deadlines, because if we don't have deadlines for ourselves, we're not going to start moving forward. Just like I know this video has to come out on Sunday, so here I am on Friday recording it. I set myself a firm deadline. I want it done today because I have a conference Saturday and Sunday, so I'm just not going to have time to do it tomorrow. So having firm deadlines to execute on things that we want to do. Our goals and projects, we want them to be specific, impactful, believable, and this equals incitement. So we already talked a bit about being specific, Parkinson's Law, having really a set deadline, and also having a set amount. Like we need to have a specific number to measure. Like with the Leanne example, if we have 6 clients that she needs to get in 6 weeks, we can measure that. At the end of 6 weeks, we can go back and be, okay, did she have 6 clients or not? If she just says, I want to develop my personal training business, that's too ambiguous. So being specific is key and critical. It needs to have an impact on your life. If it's not impactful, you're not going to have that motivation and momentum to keep going with it. It needs to be believable. If you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to start going forward with it. And if you have these components, then that equals excitement. And when we're excited about our goals, we get aligned with them, we start moving, and we believe in them, and we start going after them. So energy is a key component, momentum is a key component of this course, and we're really going to be talking about building momentum and keeping energy flowing. And that's why we want to use 80-20 principles to really understand what 20% of action we can take to achieve the big amount of stuff. Because when we see progress and momentum, that's when we get excited, and then the little bits become easier to do. But when we get stuck and we see our goals way off in the future and they feel so unattainable, then we don't move forward with them. So it's really about keeping things managed and realistic for you to be able to move forward the projects that you do have. So the criteria for this course that I want to lay out is that I want it to be practical for you. I really want the exercise to be useful. I want it to be, I gotta move this up. There we go. So practical for you. Really for you, I want everything to, the exercises to work and flow. I'm just gonna jump out of that because I know this. So yeah, small wins. With habit change, it's really about, can we make changes that are gonna stay and last is what it comes down to. If we make smaller changes are much more likely to last than bigger changes. So I'm not gonna bombard you with a lot of stuff. So everything I'm teaching right now is gonna be very practical and very easy to implement, because I know if I give you a lot of stuff, it's not gonna be as valuable. I thought about creating like a worksheet for you to do every single day to help you keep in line with your goals. But if I asked you to fill out a worksheet for the next 14 days, excluding weekends, then you'd be like, this is just way too much. Like, I'm not gonna do that. And so I'm not gonna bombard you with a lot of work that you don't necessarily have to do. Rather, I wanna give you stuff that's practical and easy to implement, so that way it's more likely to stick, you're more likely to use it, and then we can progress from there. I'm still gonna show you like these frameworks. There's, you know, some big goal setters that really believe in doing goal setting every day and connecting the dots and aligning it. But we're gonna get into that more down the course. I'm gonna show you how they do that. And if you wanna run with that kind of framework or ideology, you can. You can still apply these principles. But for some people, it just might be a little bit too tedious to do this kind of stuff every single day. So it's really about you and making sure that what I'm giving you is practical and it's an easy starting point, and then we can add on from there, as opposed to overloading you and then not getting you to even start with it. For me, this course being fun is a key component. So making things like easy and simple makes it more likely that you're gonna stick with it. And if you have momentum, you're gonna keep going with it, okay? So we're gonna get into a few of the exercises that I've created for you now. And yeah, tools for you. So all the tools that I'm creating are gonna be very practical and efficient. So here are the exercises for the first week. And so I really wanna start off easy, basically, and just kind of get right into it. The first thing that I want you to do is download Google Docs for your phone. I even thought about doing this live over the course, where I was gonna pause the course for a minute and turn on some Katy Perry and make you guys download it. But the audio quality, actually, when I tested that out, did not work out very well. So we scrapped that idea. But I want you to get Google Docs on your phone, because we're gonna be using Google Docs a lot for this course. And so really, it's about you having access to these documents when you need to, when you're working. For the first week, I want you to block off 2 sessions. And that means 1 hour should be more than sufficient enough. So 2 sessions of 1 hour to really kind of get going with the first exercises. On session 1, you're gonna complete the DIS Google Doc and the document that goes next with it. And you're gonna deconstruct one of your goals. That should take you about 20 or 30 minutes. And then after that, you're going to do the following one, where you're going to do session 1. Basically, it's a start form. And it's gonna have some questions to connect what you did in the DIS. And actually, I'll just get into an example with it. And then session 2, same thing. You're going to use your sheets to kind of start moving forward with your goals. So once I show you these, they're gonna be a little bit more easier, and that's what we're gonna focus on next. So here is a goal that I deconstructed, and I was talking about the video for this course. So video for week 1 course, I listed all the things that I had to get done. Then I selected what 20% of actions will get 80% of my result. And so I said recording video for week 1, principles and concepts, review these guys, things that I wanted to go over. And basically what I did is I reviewed, so I established a sequence, I reviewed the notes, I finalized my principles and my concepts, and then I recorded the video for week 1. And when I did that, then I had my first initial video, and then I was able to come back, make these slides, add in the exercises, and now I'm re-recording this video for the last and final time. So stakes, always set a deadline. So this was November 4th, today's November 4th, and so I'm getting this done today. So this is what your sheet's gonna look like. The last sheet, I just kind of crunched it together onto one screenshot to make it easier, and so you saw it all. But this is how you're gonna look, and you're just gonna fill in here, what is your list of things, select your 80-20 principle, and go from there. Once you've done that, then we're gonna establish the frequency. And so what I want you to do is, we've talked about blocking out 2 sessions for this week. So we're gonna use 2 1-hour sessions, but really what you're gonna have to do with your own goals, figure out how much time you can allocate to it. The reality is that for some of you, this is gonna be a full-time thing, and you're gonna have as much time as you want to do it. For others, you're not gonna have, you have a job, and so you're not gonna have much time to get it done. So it's really about you deciding for yourself what it is, how much time you have. But let's start with 2 sessions each, and if you wanna do more than that, great, you can run with your goals. But this is what I want you to commit for to this course. So 2 sessions, and the first session you're gonna complete your own DISC form, which I just showed you in the last slide, which is this one here. Break down one of your goals, and then you're gonna establish what are your 2 sessions. Now, the key thing here, when you go to your sessions, there's no cell phones. You can bring water in with you and minimize all your distractions. It's basically you're going into just a work zone, and that's it. There's nothing else that you are going to do. You're not gonna multitask. You're just focused on your one key thing that you need to get done, and that's it. And I'll explain more to you why that is later on in the course, but that's how we're gonna run with it. When you open up your file, you're gonna see session 1. So you're gonna talk about the big goal. So if we go back to Leanne, she's gonna have 6 personal training clients in 6 weeks. Then she's gonna write what is the next step for her goal. So what is in the sequence, what is she gonna do based on what she established? And then 3 things are gonna get accomplished today. And these are gonna be the 3 things, you wanna break them down into as small as ideas as possible, things that take 10 minutes or less, and really, because our mind works a lot better when it's a very simple idea. If we end up having to, it seems large and luminous, we're not as good as getting it done. When you're done your session, you're gonna fill this in, you're gonna talk about the strides that you made. There are some concepts on here like wild brain thinking, system shutdown that you don't understand yet, but we're gonna get to these principles and what they mean later on and why they're important into what we're doing and how they affect our brain and our behavior and how they make us more efficient. So for now, we're just gonna leave it at that. So once you complete these 2 sheets, then that's it. And you have session 2 and session 2 start and session 2 finish there. So basically, you're going to do, oh, it's getting dark. Do your DISC, find out your frequency, block off your 2 sessions, and then do your session 1, do your session 2, and then complete that, and then get going on your project, start moving forward with it, start deconstructing it, and then start doing the pieces that are gonna help you start moving forward with it. If you wanna do more than 2 sessions, you can, and we're gonna go from there. So thank you so much for tuning into this first lesson. It really was about the DISC principle, and that's really gonna be the framework and overarching thing. I really want to keep it light and simple for now and really kind of get you going with the worksheets and not keep the content too much. And we'll kind of dig in a little bit more down into the next weeks. But that's what we're going to start off with. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me or reach out to me. And I look forward to hearing you guys and doing the coaching call with you guys on Thursday. Peace.